What's up, guys? Good morning. We are back with another Daily Bread video. Kicking it through the book of Exodus, and we are now at the point where we see the final plague. We see the Passover, and I'm going to share some thoughts on that. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. We really want to see what people are thinking. What are you feeling? If you read the Bible, this is actually helping me a lot, to be honest with you. When you read with the intent, I am going to share something. I'm going to share some thought. Doesn't mean you have to make a video. It could be literally one 5-word sentence or something. This stood out to me. But when you read the Bible with that kind of intent, your mind is much more engaged. You are much more apt to really take in what you're reading and think about what you're reading, because your intent is to share something. So just encouraging folks, read it with that intent, share it, and when you get something, hit us up on YouTube, comment, and share it with lots of other people. So in the reading this morning, we are going through the book of Exodus, and of course we have the last plague, which is the death of the firstborn all throughout the land of Egypt. This did not touch the people of Israel who were in Goshen because they followed the rules, ritual of the Passover. What God had handed down, they got the blood from the sheep and or goat, I guess it's sheep or goat, and they sprinkled it on the doorposts and the lintels. And when the death angel passed over the land, he passed over them because the blood was there. And because of the blood, only because of the blood, not because they were something special or whatever, it was the blood that saved them. And of course, this is a beautiful picture of the blood of Jesus Christ, the sacrificial lamb shed for us. It is only by the blood of Jesus. It is not our good works. It is not our status. I'm 7th generation. It doesn't matter. If you don't come to Christ, have the blood applied just like any old other person, then we will not be passed over. And in this case, we want to be passed over. When judgment comes for us because of our sin, when we are deserving of death, this isn't just the firstborn of every household, this is every person born. We are under the wrath of God. Death is our destination. Well, physical death is everybody's destination, but the spiritual death, the second death, the death where we are judged and thrown into eternity in judgment, that is escapable. It does not have to happen. It should not happen. It only happens when we don't apply the blood of Jesus, and thank God for that wonderful blood. It is amazing, though, to me, to see the picture of these people who are so, can you imagine how elated they were? Oh my goodness, for 400 plus years we're in Egypt. We've been in slavery all this, hundreds of years, or I'm not exactly sure exactly how long the slavery was. But we're coming out. We are, we're able to actually get some pay for all the generations that have blood, sweat, died. What excitement. And they get out of Egypt and they aren't gone. I'm just gonna say a couple of hours. It's like, you know what? Pharaoh is not gonna just let them go like this. He's too hard in his heart. Yes, for a minute it was like, oh my goodness, get out of here, get out of here. Like the land just like almost vomiting them out, like, get up out of here. But then I don't want to let go of my slave labor force quite that easy, and now maybe it's starting to settle in. You know what? They're the ones that brought this. They're the ones that caused this. So here they go. They strap on their battle armor. They're ready to go and get some blood on their hands, get some vengeance, take some slaves back to where they belong. And the children of Israel, what happens to them? the children of Israel are like, it would have been better for us to live as slaves than to die here in the wilderness. You know, was it Patrick Henry? Give me liberty or give me death. Remember the old line from Braveheart? They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. Whatever happened to that kind of mentality? Where, no, I'd rather live less than real life. I'd rather be a slave than to die a free person. I think that attitude is also something that stands out here. And of course they had it throughout. The Red Sea happens, another great time of victory, and oh yes, but it didn't take long for them to be wishing to be back in Egypt again. And this is the thing with something interesting about freedom. Maybe I'll explore this more on a podcast or something, but freedom is also freedom to fail. Freedom is also freedom to not be as successful as the next person. Freedom is the freedom to absolutely ruin your own life. And some people actually would rather trade freedom for some sense of security. People willingly will give up freedom, especially in times of crisis or things, make me feel safe, make it better. And this was their attitude, and this was their mentality. And they never shook it. And God had to let them die in the wilderness. He couldn't take them on. He couldn't take them further. And I think this often happens with us. Sometimes people are actually legitimately, they will be saved, but they never go further than that. I mean, they're never going to really forget about passing anything good on to the next generation. The next generation makes it. Bless God, it's not because of us, it's in spite of us. They never have any success or any fruit in their ministry. They live just really wretched, miserable, uncomfortable, undesirable lives, but hopefully, oh, Jesus, we can squeak in heaven by the hair of our chinny chin chin. Maybe. There's a lot of scriptures that I'm not going to go into now that show that I'm not so sure that's even really the case. But again, New Testament, nowhere does it talk good about the people who died in the wilderness. But it's because we can't shake the old mentality, the slave mentality. When we come out of the world, we can't shake our little bit of liking, some of that carnality, little bit. I want one foot in, one foot out. I want God and I want that. Yes, I come to a Sunday service and I'm just feeling good. It's worship and crying and I feel the presence of God. Oh, and the word was so good. The preacher blessed me today. But then when we leave there, everything else takes priority. Job, family. Notice I'm not naming any sinful things. Job, family, housework. Got to work in the garden this weekend. Oh man, hurt my back on Saturday. Can't make it on Sunday. Working hard Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday or Thursday or whatever, midweek services or whatever. Right? Can't make it then. Can't slide into one of those Bible studies or prayer meetings or can't, it's because we're too carnal. It's because we were happy that the chains were broken, but the chains around our heart, the chains around our mind, those remain. And we need to break free. We need real freedom. We need real freedom. So my prayer today for you, for me, for all of us, is that we can truly be free, not just physically. We're not going to the bar anymore. We're not vomiting up, Friday night's party on Saturday morning at 11. We don't have that chain on us. We're not shooting up, overdosing on drugs. We're not, wasting our life in debauched sin. But we haven't quite come into the kingdom either. We're in this middle ground where we will die without achieving the promise of God in this in-between state, which is possibly even worse than one or the other. Let's not do that. Let's full-fledged, chains are coming off, both outwardly. I'm not going to the, whatever anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. But now I'm doing some things that are in the promised land. Remember, there was work in the promised land. There was work to be done. It wasn't like walk in and you just open your mouth and milk and honey flow in, right? Where'd the milk and honey come from? I mean, even if there was no battles to fight, the milk came from animals that they had to farm and have agriculture and these kinds of things. And the honey, right? It wasn't just dripping off the grass. So that there was work there, but there was also work to be done to conquer the land. And there was work to be done to maintain the land and to fight off the forces of evil once they had conquered. So we know there was work to be done, and there will be work on our part. We've got to keep it. We've got to keep it fresh. We've got to push. We've got to strive. We have to be strong. And that is my prayer, that those chains come off and we keep them off. That they come off and we keep them off. That we are able to stay free, not just become free. We're able to stay free. Love you guys. God bless you. Hope this has helped you. Don't forget, what did you get out of the reading today? Maybe it was from the reading in Matthew or something else out of Exodus. Love you. Love to hear that in the comments. Definitely like, subscribe, share this, and we'll catch you on the next Daily Bread.